Actual podcast. Uh, you're gonna have to leave TikTok, go to YouTube, find the R-BoP podcast, and then just come straight into YouTube to the R-BoP podcast. I can even bring you into the show. I can have up to 6 people in here with me if you'd like. But oh, you're at the range? Hey man, I understand. Be safe out there. I understand. It's funny that he mentioned that. Chaplin is a law enforcement officer, and that's why I got a bone to pick with right now. I'm hearing I'm hearing that there are or were a bunch of folks doing nothing for a long time at that school in Texas. And it's infuriating. It's infuriating. Not only am I hearing, and I'm hoping that there, someone has more information on this than I do. That's why I'm doing the podcast, and it's going to be open. But I'm hearing that not only did police officers get there and not do shit for 40 minutes, other than, and I hope this isn't true, other than go in and get their own fucking kids. I'm like, what happened? What? I'm hearing, I've heard this on TikTok. I've seen this stuff on the news. Well, obviously you got Fox News talking about it. It's not the gun issue. It's a door issue. It's an access issue. There is even a Fox host saying, parents, you need to know what schools your kids are going to. It's your fault for not checking on the school. You should have put them in private school. Shit like that. There were 2 different officers there. Texas police cannot engage in active shooters with less than 4. Okay, that's cool. But what I saw was a shitload of motherfuckers walking around in freaking body armor and freaking tactical looking gear. By the time I saw some shit on TV, it was a shitload more than 2. So I'm pretty sure if you hear, and I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure if you hear active shooter, calling all cars, within 15 minutes, there's going to be more than 2 motherfuckers there. Now, I was raised in Chicago. All right. It takes no time at all for a whole bunch of motherfuckers to show the fuck up. All right. You can get 15 guys to show up for, you can get at least 5 guys to show up for a shoplifting. So, I don't know, Tommy, but I hear you. I'm kind of calling some bullshit on that, though. But anyway, once again, I am simultaneously on TikTok right now. I'm not walking. It's not my 5-mile walk talk because weather's terrible. But I'm also simultaneously on YouTube right now doing a video podcast. It's called R-BoP, the R-BoP podcast, Riddick's Book of Philosophy podcast. If you'd like to come into there, make a comment or 2 to let me know that you're in the podcast. I'll put a link in the chat so that select people can come in and we can talk. I'll bring you on the screen and we can talk about it. How y'all feel about that? Y'all put your hands together for that shit. I can do that. I have all kind of capabilities here. All right. So there you go. But in regards to there were only 2 police officers there, I think that's bullshit. All right. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. I just wanted to, not vent. That's not the purpose of this. What I wanted to do was kind of ask some questions and try to get some information, or we can discuss what's being said and done. Hey, Tom, what's going on, sir? How are you doing? Y'all put your hands together for Tom. All right. So thanks for coming, Tom. Why was the back door open at the school? I don't know why the back door was open. Why did somebody walk in there and shoot motherfuckers? Fuck the back door, man. It's not the door's fault. It's the shooter's fault. Get off the fucking door. There's all kind of schools in the nation right now that got freaking doors that you can walk the fuck in. Why was the back door open at school? Okay. Uh, why couldn't he have shot through the fucking window and reached in and unlocked the door? Why didn't he show up with a freaking shape charge or a freaking platter charge or some shit, some C4 and blow the fucking door open? There's all kind of capabilities. There's all kind of ways to get into a door. Trust me, I know. I'm an expert. Hell, you can show up with a crowbar and pry a fucking door open. It's not about the door. That's straight the same shit that they're saying on Fox News. Are you a Fox fan? Because it's the door's fault. Fuck out of here. It's not the door's fault. Door didn't kill anybody. All right. I guess the door had a mental problem too. That's what you're going to say? Jesus. Brian Miller. Why is every door at Walmart open right now? Get out of here. You're damn right. Jesus Christ. There was, you know what? I think you got a point because there were doors at that grocery store too. Fuck. Wow. You know what? There were doors at that movie theater when they got shot up. There were doors at them fucking churches when they got shot. You know what? It still ain't the fucking doors. Yeah. Anyway. I'm sorry. There's so many things you hear, these wackadoo fucking things, man. There's no doors in other schools in other countries. Of course they are. Damn. Jesus Christ. You know what they don't have in other countries? More guns than people in the country. Ours does, though. There are more guns in the United States of America than the United States of Americans. Yeah, indeed. Anyway, once again, TikTok, if you guys want to come to, matter of fact, you feel free to come and, we can talk about it. And cops see him and don't. Yes, they didn't see him. Tommy. Officers did not make contact until the moment the shooter was eliminated. Well, so much for the good guy with a gun stopping the bad guy with a gun. There was a whole bunch of dumb guys with guns doing not fuck shit. So they weren't the good guys with guns. They were just motherfuckers with guns. Right? Because if you show up with tactical gear, a weapon system that's equal to what the shooter's carrying, and then a lot more of them, you have overwhelming fucking firepower. You got overwhelming force. Now, is there a chance a cop might get shot? Of course there's a chance, but I think that's what they get paid for. That's what the fuck people told me when they like, oh, you go to war? Well, you're just a grunt. You chose your job. You're damn right I did. Somebody says, you upset about a door not being locked, but not bothered by an 18-year-old buying two AR-15? No, he bought one on his birthday, 300 plus rounds of ammo, the way I understand it. And then 3 days later, he went and bought another one. I'm like, if I was a gun owner, I'd be like, shit, man, I know it's legal. So here you go. Here's your weapon. Here's your ammo. We come back in 3 days. I'm like, did you break it? What the? I'm gonna have to ask you some questions. Shit. Anyway, that's directly from the Texas Department of Public Safety. So what was that? Hold on, I'm gonna go back. No, I'm not gonna scroll back up there. I'm sorry. Put it in again or come in here, come to YouTube. Feel free to come to YouTube to the R-BoP podcast. I'll put a link in the freaking chat and you can pop in here and we can talk about it. I have never been afraid to hold a conversation with anybody. All right, now I ain't gonna argue with you. We can talk about whatever you want to. That's just, that's just the way I am. I welcome conversation. I welcome a spirited debate, but I sure like to have some freaking facts behind it. We can talk about anything, pussy to politics. I don't care. But yeah, it'll be a conversation, not an argument. I'm going to put the link in for those of you that are here. Got 4 folks. I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to be on long. I'm just, chilling. I got some stuff to do. There you go. The link's in there for anybody that want to pop in. That's cool. Um, yeah. Good morning. Good morning to you. Well, when I heard that, I found that out. Police officers showed up. Not only did they wait 40 minutes, according to the way I understand it, they also prevented parents from going in. Well, I mean, I can understand if they're unarmed going in, you can't have vigilanteism. But I also hear that some police officers went in and got their kids, but didn't get anybody else's kids. I think that's 10 times type of fucked up right there. And yeah, like to get more information on that. I'm going to be uh, seeking out more knowledge above and beyond just what they put out on the fucking news. Yeah, because what I'm hearing is everything from we need common sense gun regulation. That's one side, all the way down to it's the door's fault, all the way down to parents, you shouldn't put your kids in public schools. Then it goes back to the freaking mental health. It's mental health now. You got good guy with a gun versus bad guy with a gun bullshit. And then you have the mental health issue. Yeah. The fuck. Yeah. This is what's weird to me. When everything was locked down, there's another one. It's Dr. Fauci's fault because people were locked down. So now Fauci made people unstable because of separation from people. Now people have mental illness. I even heard that shit. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I was just as separated as everybody else during this pandemic, and nowhere in the middle of that did I have an overwhelming urge to grab my weapons and unalive motherfuckers. Right? But see, maybe I'm just a fucking weirdo because I also didn't have a problem with wearing a mask. I also didn't have a problem with sitting in a fucking chair in an airplane and minding my own fucking business. I had no problem that, you know what irritated me? Freaking, because I fly a lot and I got access to all those lounges that most motherfuckers don't believe are inside of airports where they're really comfortable with free food, free liquor, comfortable chairs and taking showers and shit. It irritated me more that those were closed than having to wear the mask and travel and all that bullshit. You know why that irritated me? Because then I had to buy those $18 fucking hamburgers and $9 beers instead of going into the freaking lounges when they were open and unlimited fucking buffet finger food, free fucking liquor with my feet up when I'm charging everything that I can carry at the same time. Computer, phone, all that shit. Everything's getting charged up. I got a gimbal, I got cameras, I'm a YouTuber. Isn't that crazy? I was more irritated that they closed the fucking lounges than I was that I had to wear a mask. It's crazy. So yeah. He said, poor Fauci. He gets blamed for everything. He does. You know what? If it wasn't for Fauci, he wouldn't be Fauci. He Fauci'd himself. How many assault rifles did Fauci sell last year? Good question. Great question. Anywho, the link is in there. If anybody wants to pop in, anyone on TikTok, I'm waiting for some specific friends to pop in. I don't know if they're busy working. I did start this a little bit later. For those of you that don't know, normally during good weather, Monday through Friday, I do a 5.25 mile walk, 2 laps around my subdivision and all that stuff. And during that daily 5 mile walk, I do a live TikTok and we talk about all kinds of stuff. I've learned a lot. People have learned from me. I've had different points of view that I hadn't considered before. All of that stuff. Check this out. I even spoke to a guy from the Balkan Islands and he gave me his view on the Ukraine war, the war against Ukraine and Russia. This was last month. And he had a whole different take on it. He had a whole different view on Ukraine, some shit that I hadn't considered. I was like, wow. This same guy we discussed, the slap heard around the world. He had a whole different view on the Will Smith thing based on his culture and the way they do stuff there as opposed to the way our culture is in the United States. It was eye-opening. I didn't agree with him, but I understood that, hey, man, that makes perfectly good sense your point of view based on your upbringing and your culture and your country. And I was like, wow, I hadn't considered that. And I think that's a valuable thing for a TikTok channel or a freaking YouTube channel or anything where you're talking to people. You can learn from it. Question is, do you think Fauci should have changed what? Do I think Fauci should have had charges brought against him? No. Do you? And why? Fauci was doing his job. Okay. I'm really interested on that answer. I'm gonna read that again. Do you think, make sure I didn't read it wrong. Do you think Fauci should have charges brought against him? Absolutely not. And I'd like to know if you do, and if you do, for what? Yeah. Tell him after, oh, so it's after Trump? That's a good question. Do you think Donald J. Trump should have charges brought up against him? I do. Do you? If you do, why? If not, why? All right. Ban assault rifles, vote Democrat, mail in your ballot. Interesting view. I'm at work, otherwise I'd consider popping. I understand, Tom. I understand. I'm not going to be on here too long, unless I get a guest, someone to pop in and someone to talk to. Right now, I'm kind of just asking questions and getting tidbits, bits and pieces through chat. It's way easier to have a guest and someone to talk to than to just be riffing on my own. Somebody says ban assault rifles. Oh, I read that already. And someone said for what? What's the question? Era phase. For what? What is your question in reference to? I'll answer it if I can. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to say, and I was hoping to spark up a conversation and not just answer chat questions. But who knows? I'll do this for a couple of more minutes, and then if somebody wants to come in, I'll put the link in. Well, the link's right there. I'll put it in again anyway. Putting the link into the chat of the YouTube video podcast. There's the link again. In case somebody wants to pop in. All right, somebody says, for what? I'm waiting for that answer. Anyway, there you go, man. So that kind of thoughts on being able to sue a woman you don't know for having an abortion in Texas. Who can the female of the school shootings be able to sue? Ooh, there you go. There you go. You know what's weird is people for years have been saying you can't mess with the Second Amendment because if you change the Second Amendment, what else will they change? They'll take away your rights and they'll keep taking them and they'll keep taking them, says the same people that are taking the right of a woman to have an abortion away. I mean, have an abortion. Ain't that fucking weird? So if you take that away, what else will they take? Huh? See, that's one of those, it's good for you long as you don't fuck with me. That's one of those. You know what I'm saying? And one, I think that's bullshit. And two, I think it's unfair. Here's Riddick's book of philosophy. Welcome to the podcast. My book of philosophy is leave motherfuckers alone. Live and let live. You know what I'm saying? If you're not being hurt, my wife will get that. How embarrassing. Anyway, I'm gonna stop it up here. All right. Anyway, come on, man. Leave people alone. Now, me personally, I can't speak for everyone, but do I personally give a damn if you're a man transitioning to a woman or a woman transitioning to the man? None of my business. I don't care. Okay. I do have minor issues, and I'll say this out loud. Sorry, I don't really care how you guys feel about this. Is if you're not old enough to make legal decisions, and this is going to go over like a freaking turd in a punch bowl here. If you're not old enough to make legal decisions, If you're not old enough to make medical decisions, I think you should wait until you can. Now, I'm not trying to stop any young kid who feels they have gender issues or not issues. They just want to live their full life. Cool. But when you have parents transitioning little kids, I don't know. You know, not gonna try to stop it if it's, it's not illegal. But I remember I wasn't until my shit early teens, right around there, 12, 13, 14 years old, is when girls started being interesting. You know what I'm saying? 14, 15 years old, 16 years old. That's when you start dating and, growing hair in funny places and, getting the urges and, getting touchy feely and shit. But, I don't know. That it's not my call. I got feelings toward that. Still talking about age. We need to get people registered to vote. You damn right we do. Make sure they get out to listen, folks. Oh, I got Dow in here. Hey, Dow. I'll wait for you, buddy. I'm waiting for you. Good morning. I'm on the podcast. I'm waiting for you, brother. If you would care to indulge. Yeah, it does have. There is a rallying cry to vote. Okay, now just a quick subject change here. You got some people that say vote and vote blue no matter who. That's bullshit. Do not vote blue no matter who. You research your candidates and you vote blue to the ones that are going to help you. So blue's just not good enough. Blue's fantastic. But don't just fucking vote blue no matter who, because I'm going to give you two names why. Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. That's blue. But they ain't doing shit for you. They're voting red like a motherfucker. There's also rumor I've heard that there are some Republicans that are running as Democrats anyway to try to scoop up some of that vote blue no matter who energy. Trying to get over the finish line with that bullshit. All right. People, this is for the, there's really, I'm not gonna say there's no hope for the people, the motherfuckers is like, I'm not voting because my vote don't count. I wish we could get through to them because there's a lot of those people that can help you get shit done. Okay. But the ones that say, vote blue no matter who, do some research, guys. If you're going to take up an activity, all right, right now I'm talking about voting, but if you take up any activity, aren't you going to try to learn about it before you do it? You know what I'm saying? If you want to go boating, won't you do some research on the boat you're going to buy, know how to operate it and all that shit? If you want to go skiing, don't you want to make sure you freaking have a good location or a good instructor, research the instructor, buy some good skis? If you're going to go to the range and shoot, I'll say shooting. Don't you want to freaking know how to shoot? You're going out there to practice. You know what kind of weapon system. You're going to do some research. You're not just going to do it, right? Why not with voting? If you're going to do it intelligently. All right. It takes a little bit more than just going to a poll, pick a name, circle, 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 and you don't know who the fuck that person is. That makes no sense. And then you get angry. Oh, yeah, they're not doing what I want. Cinema, Mansion. Come on, man. If you're going to do anything, do it with some type of intelligence behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez. Yes.
Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. I only got a couple minutes. I just was popping in to say good morning, but I'm kind of like intrigued to hear what you were talking about because, after Ted Cruz's door comment yesterday. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I talked about that.
Well, like it's funny because normally Ted's one of the first to jump on the we need to arm teachers, right? But
Right.
the failing of police officers coming out and how they didn't do anything, he's not even jumping on that one this time.
Oh, no.
Instead, it's the problem is the doors.
No, oh no, here's one. It was totally and completely he was appalled at Beto O'Rourke showing up to call out their bullshit. And he says, oh, he politicized it. The same fucking bullshit they always say. The wound's open. People are hurting. This community's freaking hurt. That's not going to change. Yeah. Nothing that man said is going to take away any of the pain.
Yeah.
But when he pointed it at the motherfuckers that didn't do anything to prevent the pain in the first place, when you're praising the people that were sitting there doing nothing, dereliction of fucking duty, as many times I heard gunfire and had to run straight at it, I was appalled when I found out there were cops out there that could hear gunshots outside of a building and they didn't even go to fucking
at least a dozen. And they tased or threatened to tase a father who wanted to go in and rescue his own child. And then it came out they rescued their own children from the situation.
There you go.
And left those other babies to die. It is appalling to me.
I agree.
I am not a combat veteran, but I damn sure could not have just stood on the sidelines. And yeah, you don't have body armor or whatever. There were 12 of you. You each had a 9mm or a 40 40. You had backup.
They had military terms. They had overwhelming firepower.
Yeah, it didn't matter that he had a rifle and had body. Whether he had body armor or not, that didn't matter because there were enough of them that they could have come in a wedge formation and just cut him off.
They could have. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't there. There's going to be some motherfuckers talking about, well, you weren't there. You don't. No, I wasn't there, but I've been in a lot of places where there was a there. Okay. Yeah. The advantage to a high powered rifle like an M4, CAR-15, the advantage to that is distance. You can shoot a very long way and you can crank out freaking a whole lot of bullets at once. All right, he wasn't full auto because you can't buy a full auto or 3-round burst on the market. His was semi. His bullets will come out as fast as he could squeeze the trigger, just like every fucking pistol and rifle that the police had. Okay. I'm pretty sure he wasn't carrying any armor piercings. Now, a freaking CAR-15 high velocity 5.56 millimeter ball round or .223. It does have some penetration power.
Yeah. Now, he did have 5.56 NATO rounds from what I read, which means that they're more accurate and they have a little bit more of a oomph, even though it's similar to the
That round has nothing to do with accuracy. Accuracy totally and completely depends on the zero of the weapon and the effectiveness of the shooter.
Okay.
Accuracy.
Right. I can say that. To
be able to hit your target, that's accuracy. Okay. And believe it or not, being nervous or scared affects that.
It does.
Between this and this, it affects that. But my point is, there were more of them than him. They could have came in from multiple directions, or they could have at least cornered him. And distance doesn't matter. Once you get in close proximity inside of a room, a 9mm bullet's going to hit you just as fast as a 5.56.
Yeah.
It's not a velocity. It's not a distance issue. At this point, it would just be a firepower issue, and they had more of it.
And they had more of it, and they could cover each other six. They had their front, their backs, their sides, all angles covered. There were enough of them to do it. He was one person.
Yeah. And then on top of that, he didn't go in there with the situation of, y'all let me go, I'm killing people. He was going in there to kill people. If they would have came in, it would have went from me killing unarmed people to, oh shit, I got to protect myself against other people with bullets. He would have been distracted. At least I think so.
And I mean, some people probably still would have been hurt or even killed, but I think the numbers would not have been anywhere near as bad. We saw this happen here in Florida with Parkland, and the school officer there waited for backup, and because they wanted at least 2 people to go in, so you had somebody always on your 6.
That makes sense.
Which is like what you really should have in situations when possible. But they changed it after Parkland and said no. If it's an active shooter situation and you have children being affected, you go in.
Okay. Well, someone in TikTok was saying, well, there was only 2 of them there and they had to wait for more. I'm like, what the fuck? Is that a law? Why would I thought the rule was I got to at least have a battle buddy. I got to at least have somebody to go in with, going with
It,
pairs. At least I got two guns against one gun, that type of thing.
in the interview with the sheriff of the county,
Yeah.
he said there were 12 of them there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I got you. The point I had made is being from Chicago, even if someone says, hey, 911, we got someone shoplifting, you're going to get 4 cops in that motherfucker in at least freaking 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Or more. The ones that are bored that just want some action. But you got 40 minutes of nothing. I believe it was 40 minutes after they were amassed.
Yeah. It was roughly an hour total. It was 40 minutes after he went inside.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I heard it was another 30 minutes ish for them haggling over freaking which keys to get access into which door. Because I think the whole thing started around 11 something. I don't know, anywhere from 11:01 to 11:59. It was 11 something. But by the time he was freaking expired, it was after 1300. It's after 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just everything I learn about this situation just keeps making me more angry.
Oh, someone says another shooter in West Virginia. Someone says, what do you mean? Look it up. Just showed up on my phone. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. What's really frustrating to me is, I'm gonna go to this screen here. What's really frustrating to me is when you think it's enough, some of these people are really, really tolerant to this bullshit. Really tolerant. West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can pull it up while we're talking without it cutting me off.
Police woman killed, what was this? 19 hours ago, police woman killed by man who fired a rifle into a party crowd. That's just 2 days ago. 19 hours ago.
Yeah, one day ago, man dies after opening fire at an apartment party in Charleston.
Come on, man. Had extensive criminal history. Well, how'd he get a gun? Oh, I'm sorry. He probably went to Walmart. They were on sale.
Well, I don't know. All right, let me tell you a funny story before I get out of here. This is a true story that I actually witnessed happen at a Walmart in Sarasota, Manatee County, down here in Florida. Okay.
All right.
There was this was like 2005, 2006. I used to own a lot of guns back then. I would go to the range all the time, and so we go there and buy ammunition. And we're behind a guy who's trying to buy a rifle. And at one point, he makes the comment because immigration's like always been a hot talking point. He makes the comment to the clerk, "Do you think those aliens are real?" And the clerk thinks he's talking about immigration or illegal aliens. And he's like, well, yeah, man, the news is talking about it all the time. And the guy looks at him and goes, which one of those rifles do you think will take out their spaceships? Because I'm going to lay in my field. I'm going to mark them. And the clerk just looks at him and thinks he's joking. My friend and I are just like, oh, what the, as we're listening to this. And he had to sell him the gun because he passed the background check.
Wow. So he's hunting ET and they sold it anyway.
30 to basically shoot at low flying aircraft. Who the hell knows? And it's perfectly legal.
Wow.
That disqualifier when someone says something batshit crazy, we should be able to say, you know what? I think we need to not sell you this today.
Yeah.
That was one of 2 funny ones that I saw. The other one was just it was just funny where a guy was doing the little 10 questionnaire thing that they do for the background check, and he kept marking that he smoked marijuana, and the clerk's like, I can't sell you a gun because you marked this. He's like, all right, let me do it again. And he fills it out the exact same way. And finally the clerk's like, dude, you filled this out 4 times. It's like, well, I don't want to lie.
That's funny. That is funny. Someone said, my point, the media is the problem. The media is the problem? Okay, so how many news anchors have shot up a school lately? The media is the problem. See, here's the thing. Anybody can say anything at any time. It's up to the person it's not the transmitter that's always the problem. Sometimes it's the receiver.
Yeah.
Because once you receive the signal, you have to process said signal. And some motherfuckers nowadays don't have a bullshit filter anymore.
Yeah. I will say devil's advocate
Yes.
in that for the media thing. Let me just add this. There is a theory in criminology. I've written stuff using this theory before that is called contagion. And what it says that is if the media, whether it's social media or actual news networks, spend time naming the shooter by name, talking about him by name in the media, it increases the likelihood that another event is going to happen over the next 13 days because they use this as a way of getting fame. They're trying to outdo each other, right? So this is why in criminology, we have this idea called no notoriety, where you just don't ever say the shooter's name. Instead, you name the victims. And if you look at my TikTok, you'll never see me saying any of their names. Instead, I'm like, showing the victims and talking about why we should mourn these people that we lost.
Yeah.
So it's basically like it ends up being 0.3 odds of an increased event for every hour that the media spends talking about it.
Yeah. And I've noticed that in some media, they'll talk about the shooter, they'll talk about the criminal, they'll talk about the they'll talk about that. But eventually they'll say that you can't tell the full story without mentioning his name at least once. Here's his picture with his name, blah, blah, but they don't glorify it. Because there are a lot of freaking, I won't say copycats, but that's what they are. They are, see, if I can't be famous, I'll be infamous. That type of shit.
So that's the goal behind no notoriety is that we don't want to give them that infamy. Instead of glorify the loss that we saw, and praise these people whose lives were cut short and, honored their lives. And that's why you'll see people saying, this person was a gardener, they were a grandmother, they had this, they did this. And it's all to put the attention off the shooter and on these, the victims, so that may not be as much of a drive because they're not getting that fame out of it they wanted.
Yeah. And to humanize the whole, thing. All right. Yeah. Make it not so cold. To show that we care. And part of it is political because they want to let people to know how many people were hurt and how deeply hurt they were, why we should do something about this. Right. So, yeah, I totally and completely understand. And I have no problem with that. Yeah. I got Russ in here. Hey, Russ, if you want to jump on in here, buddy, all you got to do is hit that link. You'll pop up if you're around a camera and a microphone, brother. I'd love to have you. And his baritone. They won't ban you here, man. This is my podcast. I won't ban you. All right.
Freaking Ted Cruz going, and all these others saying, "Oh, don't talk about it. It's too soon." Not talking about it is politicizing it.
It is. It is. See, and it's always the same round circle. Don't talk about it. It's too soon. It's not the gun. It's the person. It's somebody else's fault and all this stuff. It's the door. It's the Democrats. It's Dr. Fauci. It's all this shit. The pandemic made your brain go sour. So they're that bullshit. So that's after they don't talk about it. Then they talk about that nonsense. And America has a very short attention span. And then it just goes away.
Yep.
And it just gets added to the number until somebody else fucking does it again. The
scary part is that, so after Parkland happened, in February 2017. After it happened, by April 1st, only about 35% were still calling for gun control. Right? Yeah. It got as high as 85% at one point.
Yeah.
Then by April, people's attentions had changed. People had stopped caring about it and being interested in it.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very short. I made a point during the TikTok. And I was walking and talking. I was like, we got a very short attention span. I was like, what's the name of that freaking redheaded dude that shot up the school? I'm sorry, shot up the movie theater. And it took a while.
Yep, James Holmes.
Yeah, but, right now there's someone like, I'm Googling. I think it's still there. Ben, you kind of went black screen. Are you still with me?
You got me?
Okay, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name was James.
Yes, it was.
It's another one, right? Like I said, I don't glorify the shooters. I figure on this, we can name their name here for this for a moment, but I'm not going to name any of the recent ones just because I don't know people. No.
Well, the point of that is people, I wasn't going to actually say his name. You got me. But anyway, the point is that people forget so fast. and it's horrific. There have been so many shootings going on. I reposted a video on TikTok where you had a bunch of celebrities just naming off, remember this place, remember that place, remember this place, and some of them I had forgotten about.
Yep.
Isn't that terrible? We have so many of these events going on. The fear, and they're mentioning this, is that we're desensitized, man. The shit's kind of normal.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking terrible?
Just in the last 5-6 years, we've had 2 here in Tallahassee, Florida.
Wow.
We had one at you back in 2016. I was on campus when that one happened. It was late at night on a Thursday night.
Yes.
We had that, and then not even a year later, a guy went into a yoga studio and tried to kill everybody inside the yoga studio.
Wow.
And one of the people he killed was a young woman who had been, like, when I first started teaching college, she was in my first class.
Yes.
And horrifying, because like that was the first time I had actually could say I knew someone in some way that was a victim.
Wow. Just public service announcement for those on TikTok. This is a simulcast. And look, I'm really watching battery on my phone because it's going down. So what's going on here is I have the TikTok going on live as well as a YouTube live video podcast going on. You guys are sitting up there by a speaker. So I have the speaker turned up just enough so that you can hear me and my guest. My question is it too much? Do you hear me through the speaker, through your microphone, and you hear me in the room? Am I feedbacking, or does it sound funky? That's my question. If someone in TikTok can tell me that, hopefully the audio is good. And also, can you hear my guest? Okay. Yeah, man, I just popped on. No walking today. We got severe weather.
Oh.
And that's how come I'm not out walking and talking. And we had company. I met my he's my cousin, my wife's cousin, long lost cousin. I'd never met him before. We've been talking, blah, blah, blah. And first time we met them, they came down this way. They got them a place to stay. Airbnb. It was nice. I've never did an Airbnb. Let's check it out. It was a nice little house. And I met him. And this is funny. He walks up, he's standing there, and he puts his hand out. How you doing? I said, no, cuz I gave him a big old freaking hug. And then his other 2 cousins that came with him, big old hug. Not to get into business too much, but he was kind of kind of separated from the family due to whatever circumstances. And because of that, he's like, I want to meet everybody. Since I couldn't meet you guys growing up, I want to meet everybody. This is how this happened. And what he said was, when he met me, he's like, man, I'm glad you're like you were, he was afraid that it was a problem because he'd call and talk to my wife. I'm like, who are you talking to? She's like, oh, this is my cousin, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to call his name. I said, okay, cool. And he would always ask her, is this okay? I'm not getting you in trouble, getting, with your husband, some dude calling to talk to. I'm like, no, motherfucker. She said you're his cousin, your cousins. Okay. So he was kind of apprehensive, I think. We put his hand up. How you doing? I was like, come here, cuz. Gave him a big old hug. Went out to eat, went over to my other brother-in-law's house. And then we all met up over there, then went to eat, and then we all came over to our house. And we tied one on.
Well, yeah. I know you were in the week that they were coming, so that's really great.
Yeah, man. And yeah, we had a great time. We're gonna link up with them again today. Obviously not doing anything outside for bad weather, so we'll probably just go to one of our houses and get fucked up.
Like, those are sometimes some of the best evenings.
Yeah. And it was great. Great dude.
Podcast tonight with you.
Say again?
We can have a taste test. We can make it I'll bring my bourbon and scotch out. So we can.
Hey, if they're game, we could do that. I jump on can't do it on TikTok, but I can do it on YouTube. Shoot, look at some of my podcasts, man. Started out sober, ended up drunk as hell, still having crazy conversations. But yeah. But hey, you be careful while you're out there driving, man. You're coming a little bit broken. I'm getting ready to jump off of here. I've been on for almost 45 minutes. And I thought this was just going to make up for my lack of walk and talk. And I want people to know what was going on. Extreme weather, so I didn't walk today, but I did want to get on live.
Well, it's been talking to Bill, and I will see you later.
Yes, sir. Take care. Be careful, my friend. Everybody else, thanks for coming in here, both TikTok and on YouTube. R-BoP, Riddick's Book of Philosophy. I say what I say and say shit the way I see it. I'll see you guys next time. And put your hands together for my buddy Dow. There you go. There you
Make
go.
me feel like a celebrity.
So wait, I gotta give you one more. I gotta give you one more. Hold on, let me find. No, hold on. Where is it? I got one more for you, y'all. This is for my buddy Dow. Okay, you can go now.
All right. I'll see you later.
Take care. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day.